hysterical. You know? Who? I can't even, I have it in my mind. Every show that how you guys doing? Good? Oh my God. I know, I love being back in Boston in this weather. You know what I mean? Kind of like fall, spring. It just reminds me of growing up, and I want to grab a six-pack and go in the woods. And, that's how it all starts. Underage drinking, outdoors, scantily clad. And you turn into a stand-up comedian, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, I'm happy to be here. I told you guys last time I was here was 2020, right before the pandemic. And I had all my family came out, extended family. It made me realize I don't even know how I'm related to half of these people. After the show, I said to my mother, I said, how are we even related to Aunt Lucy? And she said, oh, I worked with her at Filene's Basement in 1976. I'm like, oh, not really a relative. She said, well, she... Are you from here? He raised his hand. Oh, I have to answer that. Thank you. Oh, well, I appreciate that. I'll call on you. Great question. I grew up in Milton, Mass. Yeah. And then a little bit in Quincy. Oh, I should just start naming off all the towns. See if I get everyone to yell for me. No, but I grew up in Milton. Thank you for asking. Where are you from?
I live in Hyde Park now. I grew up in Holyoke.
Oh, okay. Moving closer to the city, huh? That's where the dangerous girls are.
When was dangerous when I came from?
Well, I appreciate you wearing the flowers. It looks... Don't forget when you leave, you know. Yeah, so that was the last time I was here at Laugh Boston. And I always like coming back here. I gotta say, this is the thing, I feel like, Boston, I appreciate it more now. I live in New York now. Don't get mad. I know some people get like, I'm a traitor. But I do appreciate Boston a lot more now when I come back. You know, it's very pretty, cultural history, all that jazz. We never do any of that when I come back. We basically run errands, go out to eat, and go shopping. That's about it. And exactly, go Sox. I'm still a Sox fan. I have my Sox undies on. But yeah, everyone in my family, all we do is like go out to eat, go run errands, go shopping, and everyone in my family loves to eavesdrop. So when we go out to eat, nobody says a word. Everybody just sits there with their heads cricked back, their eyes are darting around, trying to listen to the conversation behind them. The waiter comes up like, you guys ready to order? And everyone's like, shh. They're getting in a fight in the booth over there. Something about a Christmas party. Back in a few minutes. But big into yard sales, you know. Everybody loves the yard sales. Now they have on Facebook, they have Facebook Marketplace. It's like virtual yard sales. I don't know what it is, but I love to message people about things that I know I'm never gonna buy. You know what I mean? It's like a 17-foot couch, Victorian style for like $3,500, and I'm like, could you send me another picture? It looks like there's a stain on the cushion. Would you consider delivering it? I'll go back and forth, and then I always end with, like, I have to ask my partner. I don't know why. It's like I'm catfishing people on Facebook Marketplace, and I get no benefit from it whatsoever. But then a lot of these people are in my neighborhood, you know, and I go drinking in my neighborhood, so I used to go out drinking, and I'd be like, oh, that looks like the guy I made out with on New Year's 3 years ago. And now I'm like, oh, that looks like Betty, who I messaged about the couch. It was a walk-up. I gotta cash out. So embarrassing. I always like the in-person yard sales better, you know. Now my family does the yard sale drive-by, you know, which I think is like the most sinister of drive-bys. You know, it's like me, my mother, my sister, blonde hair, oversized glasses. Everyone's like this, trying not to catch eyes with the yard sale host, you know, and then inevitably somebody does, and we pull off in a puff of smoke. Like, we don't want your shit either. Good luck pulling that stuff back in the house. But they have, you know, yard sales, they have all this terminology, you know, I don't know if you guys go, but they have like, no early birds, you know, they'll say. And so they'll put up the flyer, it'll be like, yard sale, 10 to noon, no early birds. They don't want anyone showing up before 10, picking out the good stuff. And so now the new thing is we'll actually like go and try to peek in the window, you know, like early bird, you know, so they can't catch us. And then we're like, oh, it looks like a bunch of junk. And then we find out we're at the wrong address. And we're like, oh, sorry, Paul. I thought you were having a yard sale. Fucked that up. But I do. I think shopping became a pastime for us. You know, this is the weird thing, though. I feel like if we go into a store and we realize we're the only 3 customers, we suddenly feel responsible for keeping that store in business. You know what I mean? We're like, all right, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to buy all the greeting cards. She's going to take the snow globes. I'll pay your electricity bill. I don't care. You're not going out of business. We promise you. Not on our watch. Not on our watch. But I am happy that, like, the pandemic, I feel like it's kind of over. You know, I mean, I'm back to doing normal things. Yeah. I mean, you go back to the doctor now for no reason. I like that. I'm a hypochondriac, so, you know, I like to go to the doctor. And you couldn't do that during the pandemic, you know? Couldn't just go willy-nilly. You're like an asshole. I've been walking around for 2 years with mild constipation, you know? No medical professionals to speak to. You know, I have my cross to bear. But I did. I've been going back gradually, you know, getting all the appointments on the books. I went to the gynecologist. Don't worry, I won't say anything gross. But I did. I went to the gynecologist, and I got to tell you, I got to get a new gynecologist. Same thing. Same shit from before the pandemic. She always confuses me with someone who has a better life than me. So she'll come in the room and she'll be like, oh, did you close on the house? And I'm like, no, not me. She's like, oh, wait. You just went on vacation? I'm like, no. How about I drop my drawers, see if this jogs your memory. I'm the inconsistent waxer. Put that in your notes. See if you can remember that next time. But honest to God, this happened to me, and I thought it was really weird, but I told some people, and they said that it happened to them too. So I go in, and my gynecologist said, this is Cynthia. She's training to be a gynecologist. Do you mind if she sits in? And I was flattered. You know, I was like, oh, they must think I have a nice specimen, you know? I didn't even ask for credentials. I was like, come on in, Cynthia. No pictures, please. But then, like, halfway through, I was like, oh, it could be the other way. You know, they could be like, you want to see someone who's going to lie to your face about the number of sexual partners I've had? Possible drug and alcohol abuse? Kendra Cunningham's going to be here, too. It's a good one. You'll learn a lot. Sit down on it. I love that I have guys clapping for gyno jokes. That's when you know you've really crossed over. Maybe I could be the gyno comedian. But I'm happy. I am happy about this. This is the thing. I feel like a lot of people I know had big epiphanies during the pandemic. I didn't have any of that. You know, some people I know quit drinking. They made amends with people they hadn't talked to in a long time. I didn't have any. The biggest thing I realized is I don't know anybody in my apartment building. You know what I mean? I've been in the same apartment building 10 years, 8 apartments. I don't know anybody. You know? And lockdown seemed like a pretty suspicious time to decide to get social. You know? It's like, oh, hey, I'm Kendra, 2R. Do you have any muscle relaxers I could borrow? I'd like to sleep 5 to 7 days. That's an option. I did have some people move in during the pandemic right across the hall. And always a married couple. One married couple moves out, another married couple moves in. And I always sort of try to justify being unmarried by critiquing the relationship I see across the hall, you know. And this couple that moved in, very hard to make fun of. They have a great life. They cook bacon like 5 times a week. You know? It's like Monday night, Tuesday. It's like they're running an underground breakfast joint over there. And then they have really loud sex. It's like the life I want is right across the hall. They never invited me over. 2 parties they've had and haven't invited me. It's a shame. I feel like I'm good at a party. I'm wondering how long it's going to take them to realize every time they have a party and don't invite me, one of their FedEx packages disappears. I'm going to have to point that out to these people. No, I think the biggest thing that I realized, though, was probably during the pandemic, is that I want to be rich. And, it's a hard pill to swallow late in life when you haven't been putting much energy in that direction. A lot of catching up to do. But, I'm a feminist. But I don't want to work. I really do appreciate everything that everybody's done through the years that have resulted in the opportunities that are available to me as a woman today. But I don't want them. I don't. I want easy money, I actually Googled the other day, do you have to prove you're pregnant to take maternity leave? Like, these are the loopholes I'm looking for in the money-making department. They did. I watched a lot of on YouTube. They have shamans. I don't know if you guys are familiar with shamans, spiritual advisors. People give them money. They give them spiritual advice. Very loose credentials. Basically, go in the woods for a couple of days, come out in a caftan, and be like, "Hey, I'm a shaman now." Anyways, a good shaman, it turns out, makes $180,000 a year. I know. I was like, I could be a shitty shaman and still make a good living. I'll give like mediocre advice. Still get my roots done every night. I don't know. I gotta figure it out. My people say like, what are you interested in? Do things that you're interested in. You'll be able to make money. I'm like, I don't have the know-how or the balls to do the things that I'm interested in. I'm interested in embezzling. I mean, I don't know. How does that happen? Is that running the family? Is that intuition? How do you know? What are the character traits of a kid who turns out to be an embezzler? You know what I mean? I don't have it in me. I really don't. I'm doing an office job right now, and I feel like I'm cast in a very boring play with few lines, but I have to stay on stage for the whole production, like, I can't imagine, like, it's a big act. I can't imagine being in an office and embezzling and acting like, I'm here because I know what I'm doing, and also I'm not robbing you. Very layered existence. I'd have to do like the one, you see in the movies, it's the one big wire, it's on 11 a.m. on Thursday, they hit the button, like $3 million, the mother load goes through. That's how I'd do it if I had the balls. If anybody here knows how to embezzle, I won't tell, just talk to me after. I don't know. What do I want money for, Changed my life. A friend of mine's moving to Mexico. He's like, oh, I said, that sounds interesting. You got a new house, a new job, Oh, that sounds great. How'd you do that? He starts telling me. I said, forget it. Too much work. I don't want to do any of that. I feel like my best case scenario for me would be the witness protection program. You know what I mean? Like, what do I have to witness to get myself a new house, a new name, a new job? Just tell me what to do. I will befriend a murderer if I can be Lucy in Minneapolis being slutty at happy hour and nobody knows. I will sing like a bird. I just don't know how to do it. Yeah. Me embezzle the money. Oh, I blow the whistle on an embezzler? I feel like these guys know something that I need to know about. They're all cocky, like, just fucking embezzle then. All right, I'm gonna have to talk to you guys. Just do it, that's right. Oh my God, it's already been 20 minutes? Oh no, I did 150 steps. That's terrible. That's all I've done all day. Jesus Christ. They shouldn't alert you for that. That's not nice. Come on. I was on the train. You don't walk around much on the train. Anyway, I will say that there's a lot of things that I feel like my eyes were open to, about things that I'm more grateful for now. That, we're back out and about. Simple things, like buying a blueberry muffin, I get excited about it, I'll be honest. I'll be in line, I'm like, nobody else knows what I'm about to do. They think I'm just a coffee chick. The line's getting shorter, I'm like, oh, here we go. Here we go, it's coming. And then I get up and I always act like it's a real afterthought. I'm like, I'll take a large coffee and, you know what? Give me one of those blueberry muffins. It's a beautiful day. Even though I left my house like 20 minutes ago, like it's blueberry muffin day. Blueberry muffin day. It's blueberry muffin day. I will admit I had a chocolate chip muffin the other day, completely out of my wheelhouse. But I bought it. It was just like a good-looking muffin. You know what I mean? I gotta say that muffin sparked so much conversation. I felt like I had a puppy. People were walking by my table like, "What kind of muffin is that? Where'd you get it?" Very proud of my purchase. I'm not obsessed with muffins. You know what I mean? Not like Cheez-Its. But I do have a couple of things that I like. I like to know. I always want to know, is the muffin baked on site? I don't want a muffin middleman. I don't want a muffin that just came off a interstate highway. I want to know if I have a problem, I can talk to the actual baker. And I also like to know how much it costs. I don't like. There's a place in my neighborhood. They have $5 muffins. I think that's pricey. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you. I got a $5 muffin the other day, and I said, it was the easiest, social upgrade that I've ever done. You know what I mean? Like, I was suddenly like, I'm a $5 muffin lady, And all I had to do was make the decision. It was still, it was a $3.75 muffin. And I paid $5 for it, and I felt like a fool. But I mean, what do you do? I can't go back in there like, hey, by the way, this is a $3.75 muffin. You're charging $5. What am I, a muffin assessor now? You know what I mean? Make a big stink. Anyways, that's my muffin jokes. I feel like I should start to wrap it up. I'll say this: I've been living with a man. Yes, it's not platonic. He's a very nice guy, and he smokes weed. Which is nice to be with a guy who has his own weed, I feel like it's a closest have come to a dual income relationship, me and him. But I feel like I actually left Boston because everyone I knew was getting married, you know what I mean? And the guy I was with was like, hey, whenever you want to get married, just say the word. And I had no idea what the word was. But I was petrified I might say it by accident. Got the hell out of here. I feel like I'm softened, though. On my views of getting married, like I was out the other night and having a drink, and this guy sat next to me and he said, "Are you waiting for your husband?" And I was like, "Yes, are you him?" Been waiting for a very long time. I don't know. This is my one thing though. Like I feel like the one thing that I won't do when I get married is have a bachelorette party. I feel like I have a real hair across my ass about bachelorette parties. Because I feel like it's not fair, because men have bachelor parties and they don't walk around in velvet robes with crowns on, taking shots of tequila out of fake vagina water guns, you know what I mean? They just go and do something they might normally do. But listen, every time I get invited to a bachelorette party, I always go, because I've never been married. And if I don't go, they might think I'm jealous. And I'd rather spend $350 doing something I don't want to do than have someone think I want what they have. You know what I mean? I feel like that's money well spent. And I'll do that a couple of times a year. I definitely, I definitely like men. I'm not a man hater. If men were pets, I would have one. I feel like I might even have 2 or 3 of them, I feel like I'm the type of woman who moved to the country so my men could have more room to run around, I feel like I'm selfless like that. I just think guys can be stupid, Like I had a guy come up to me after a show and he was like, I'm really into thick chicks. And I was like, oh, too bad I'm not into honest guys. We would have had a really nice relationship ahead of us. You and I. This is the thing, like I feel like I'm normal horny, you know what I mean? Like I'm not into like a lot of weird stuff, I don't even like to have sex with the lights on. Like my motto is, you want me, you can grope around and find me. I'll be in the second closet to the left with every item of clothing I have on. But it does hit me, like weird time, like, unlike anybody, I'll get a little yearning, I just thought of that right now. It's better than horny, I think, yearning. It sounds like so sad. But it'll always strike me at very weird times, you know what I mean? Like recently I was on the subway, packed in like, it was like rush hour, packed in like sardines, A couple next to me starts making out. I couldn't touch them if I wanted to. Now it's like 2, 3 stops later, they're grabbing each other's buttocks, Finally, I tapped the girl on the shoulder. I was like, hey, I'll take it from here. I like where you're going with this, but I see a different ending. No, but before I met the guy I'm with, I hadn't had sex in over a year, and I was really like shooting my mouth off, I was like, oh, next guy to get with, I'm really gonna tear him up. Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? And I was almost like threatening people, And the other day, we were watching a movie, and I was shaking his balls like dice, and then I would let them go and scream, "Snake eyes!" I was like, how quickly we changed from like horny party girl to like, ooh, silly little testicle. But I'll leave you guys on this. I maybe I should have just left on that, but I want to say one more thing. I just want to say that I'll tell you 2 more things. One is that I feel like my biggest problem in relationship is like I don't really trust men, especially men who have sex with me. The minute I have sex with a guy, I want to be like, you're officially under investigation. Okay? I'm now going to spend all my time trying to prove you're a liar, cheat, and all-around son of a bitch. This in no way means I don't want to see you anymore. Just means I have my eye on you. And it's going to be a struggle every step of the way. Now get off me. I have to pee. But I honestly, sometimes I think we should just be able to adopt animal mating rituals, When a cat's in heat, it simply lays its head on the ground, sticks its butt in the air, and wails uncontrollably, And cats from miles around come to service that cat. I just think that'd be great, like on a Friday night, you don't really feel like going out. Around 11 o'clock, you start feeling a little frisky, Drop the drawer, open the door, guys from miles around come. Look as your Facebook mating preference, or whatever the hell it is. But there are other animals that it's a little different. Like I recently went to the Brooklyn Zoo and they had a big baboon exhibit. There was like 250 baboons, honestly, got a lot of baboons. And it said that when a female baboon is ready to mate, her ass gets red and swollen. And I was like, I think I have a little baboon in me. But the clincher is when the male baboon is ready to mate, he grooms the female. I'm like, oh, that's nice. She's so horny, her ass is swollen, and he's like, let's get a mani-pedi first. You guys have been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for coming out. Thank you, Lex.